Councilman.
My name is Roger Durand. Good evening. I first wanted to thank Marie for her service, but I see she's not here tonight. So maybe you can convey my best wishes. Joanne will know what she's looking forward to when you retire, Joanne. You know how you get complimented up there, so you've done a fine job also, like Marie. So you got a couple years to go, but keep up the good work. What I would also like to do before I make a couple comments, we've talked about, unfortunately, all I've heard about is money in tonight. That's all I've heard about. Haven't talked about students, haven't talked about SAT scores, haven't talked about people's futures. I've seen enough line items that I'm going blind. Let me tell you something good that happened in the schools. There's a lady sitting over there, and I don't want to identify her, but she got me hooked in doing the senior project at Pilgrim, which I've done for the last 4 years. She's hiding right now, but I got a couple recruits tonight. I had the opportunity about 2 weeks ago, again, to judge the senior project at Pilgrim. Again, we've talked about numbers tonight. Let me tell you, I've done it for the last 4 years. Everyone who's come before us have been fabulous. Fabulous. So I've heard a lot of demeaning comments about we don't want to send our kids to the Warwick School. That's a value judgment people have to make. I just want to tell the people who are sitting here tonight, the people of the product that I've seen, and I hate to refer to the younger generation as a product, but the product that I saw come before, and let me tell you, we had people who were going on to college. We had a guy who's going to carpentry, going to go work. They were all fabulous, and they have been for the last few years. So thank you. She's looking at me right now. I got you a couple recruits. But thank you very much, and I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. Now, having said that, that's the good news. I hate to do this because my good friend Gene Nato is sitting over here, but I have to castigate the school department. Let me tell you why. Why in God's name did you release the report about the consolidation prior to this 2 to 3 weeks ago? Because you knew the mayor was going to use that against you, and you played right into his hands. Played right into his hands. Notice the focus in the Warwick Beacon, 8 to 10 schools being closed. Not talking about his increase in budget like Mr. Marola talked about, 14,000 in the last few years on the school department. So shame on you guys. I'll be glad to consult with you in the future to give you some ideas, because the mayor plays this game all the time. So having said that, I also have to agree with what Councilman Marola said tonight. Boy, I've heard a lot of people asking questions that I don't hear at all. And we're going to have some people coming up, some other departments coming up after this. I hope you're as aggressive in the questioning with overtime and everything else with them that you've been with the school department tonight, because it's been noticed with the people here in the audience. So having said that, I also feel sorry for the school department. Boy, I really I don't know how you get all these mixed signals. 3 of the counselors here who were really being aggressive in their questioning were the 3 that were at Warwick Vets when you were trying to close schools down. They were against it. They don't think people here don't realize this? And now we're grandstanding here? They were vehemently opposed to closing schools, which would have saved millions. And I'm getting the signal here, I'm going to be shut off in a minute. But the fact of the matter is, I just want to make that particular point too. So, the school department, do you have to make changes? Absolutely. Should you have shut schools down a year, 2 years ago? I told you that, Gene, many times. But having said that, the reality of the situation, you didn't do it. So let's live with the reality. You're not going to get an extra dime here this time. I think it's abominable that we're not giving the younger generation these computers. They're our future. But why? I hope the people from the school department wait for the other departments to come up who are over budget every time. One last question, and I'm going to get to a line item. What about your health care? Because that's coming up tonight. Mr. Marola asked you that question, Tony. But why don't you just walk me through? Because this year we're paying $7.3 million on the city side with no copays. Lifetime health care. What do you do? Why don't you explain to everybody what happens on the school side? for healthcare, because we could save millions if the city adapted your approach, and we could buy those computers.
I think we've gone down this path a little bit, so I'll just try and reiterate. We currently have a program with WB Health. It's self-administering the claims within the organization. If the program surpluses, the surplus stays with Warwick Public Schools and is used in the future to offset any potential increases. We currently process about $25 million a year. We have about a $3.2 million surplus as of last June. It has helped afford us with 0% and 1% and 2% increases when nationally medical claims have been going at between 8% and 10%. We have in contract 20% co-share with our hourly employees and our administration, and our teachers have a 20% that got fixed at one particular time at the beginning of their contract. And when we did the renegotiation this last year, there was an elevation based on current premium, so they're currently paying 20%. And between all of that, our $18 million worth of premium cost that would be charged to the city is coming in at approximately $15 million. We're looking at a 6% hike this year. That includes a lot of the Obamacare initiatives that are embedded in our costs, and you've probably read in the paper that alone contributes about 3 or 4% to costs for communities or medical insurers. And next year, because of the success, we're hoping at maybe no more than 1%. And that is basically the broad overview of our medical program.
Thank you for that update, but my question was this, and I'll make it brief. Let's just understand. The way I understand it, if a school teacher retires, that person gets health care, only the school teacher till age 65, and it cuts off. Now let's contrast that to the city. Husband and wife get it for lifetime. When they turn 65, the city picks up the Medicare and picks up the plan, Medicare Part B, for husband and wife with no copay, zeros, which is costing us to the tune of $7.3 million this year. One other quick point. Former Councilman Place served 6 years part-time. And between he and his wife, the health care this year is going to be over $10,000, pretty much, with a pension after 3 years, a pension after 3 terms, and a lifetime health care for he and his wife. That's costing us over $10,000. We did a Freedom of Information. So maybe we can start cutting things like that, healthcare that's costing us $7.3 million, and start giving the computers, the money we save there, we can start giving the money to buy computers. Because Mr. Lattisaw will tell you he runs the business, and I'd like to ask him, after 6 years, how many people are you giving lifetime healthcare to? Thank you.